talking about Florida moving forward. They get window for the next 4 or 5 years. There's one X factor in that.
I think I know what it is. Bobrovsky's 37 years old.
Exactly. And he's got 1 year left on his deal.
Yeah.
So, yes, his $10 million is going to come off the books. But unless you replace him
Jamie,
with
he'll
the
sign
Vezina
for
winner,
$1 million and be better in the next 4 years than he's ever been in his life.
potentially, and you know what? You might be right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Father Time is coming for everybody, correct? Including me.
But you've said goaltenders sometimes are late. Like, this guy could be unbelievable for the next 3 years.
Well,
unbelievable.
Marc-Andre Fleury won a Vezina, I believe, at 37. If it wasn't 37, it was 36. Pekka Rinne won one at 35. Yes, their age. We do talk about mileage. Now, Sergei Bobrovsky in the last 2 years has played 159 games total. That's, regular season 58 and 23 in the playoffs. This year, 54 and 24. Like, he's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But at some point, the body is going to break down, or they have to have somebody step in and take some of those minutes. Now, here's a KJ under the radar move that Florida made and that nobody was paying attention to, is they went and got Tarasov, this big mutant goaltender out of Columbus.
Yeah.
You know who he reminds me of a little bit? Is the goalie in Toronto here. The
Stolarz?
Monster. Yes, Anthony Stolarz. Big and just learning his body, just all of that type of stuff. So he might be the heir apparent for Bobrovsky. But Florida's thinking ahead. This is a team that's moving and shaking, but they've got plans in place. Like, if Bennett left, hey, let's slide Lundell up here. Like, this isn't a team that doesn't have things sorted out.
But they brought everyone back. So now you've got literally their top 9 is back, I believe. Maybe Rodriguez needs a deal, I'm not sure, but he was in and out of the lineup at times too. Anyway,
right.
So you've got Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe back. You've got Kachuk and Bennett playing together. Luosterainen, Lundell, and Marchand are going to stay intact. So there's your basically your top 9. Jones and Mikkel are going to play. Forsling and Ekblad are going to play, and Bob's and Ned. Like, their top 9, their top 4, and their goaltender are back.
The guts of it.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that's a big part.
Who's beating that team next year? Like, that's
Dude, I told you, you're not beating that team, man. They'll be energized, man. They just have to deal with the regular season. Honestly, I think that's their biggest enemy next year is the regular season.
It will.
And they just gotta find a way to just keep trucking along and be comfortably in the playoffs and don't let things slip away, and they'll start destroying. So those guys were they're so good, man. Who the hell's going to beat them next year?
Someone's got to take a crack at it.
Yes,
I mean,
and they're
no kidding.
There's going to be, again, it's a long year. You don't know. But down the stretch, I called a game. It was Ottawa, Florida. I remember having a conversation with Paul Maurice. The team wasn't playing that well. Kachuk wasn't there. Marchand hadn't settled in. He was injured. Like, there were so many things that they were like, okay, if this all comes together, we're going to look good. And Matthew Kachuk even said it. Now, it's easy to say it after you've won. But he said, we didn't care. We just cared about getting into the playoffs. We didn't care about home ice. We didn't care about, where we slotted, who we played. We felt we had to get to our game. And that was it. And it took them a while to get to their game. But they got going, and once they were cooking, they were, we saw the result.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. The next regular season in November, we're going to be having this conversation going, you know what? They signed all these guys that look old, they look slow, they look, the hangover, Stanley Cup hangover, and then at one point, they'll be energized and go.
What will happen, though, with bringing everyone back is, like, at some point, it's going to spin off. Right. Now, that may be 3 or 4 years down the road, which, again, if you're Florida, you're like, I'll take advantage of this window, try to get one more, maybe 2 more. That's just an incredible run. But if, like, Bennett got 8, Ekblad got 8, those guys are 29. Marchand got 6, he's 37. Like, in 2 or 3 years, an injury or 2, or these guys, go over the hill and you're stuck, quote unquote, with all these guys, then, like, they're not going to win every single year. Like, put it that way. It's just not the nature of the sport. It's incredibly difficult to do. I think you bring up an interesting point, though, that they may be rejuvenated a little bit because everyone stayed. It's raw, incredible energy, incredible aura right now around that team. But the grind, it's a grind, man. And
yeah, it is a grind, but let me just remind you of a couple things. Tampa Bay Lightning's a pretty damn good hockey team. They mopped them up for fun. Toronto gave them a run, took them to 7 games. Then they took Carolina and slapped them around and said that wasn't even challenging. Then they went to the finals and basically kind of did the same thing with the Edmonton Oilers. So I'm just saying, you could say it's a grind and this and that. Like, they dummied Tampa Bay. Like, dummied, and Carolina, which are 2 highly regarded teams.
Yeah.
How Carolina is favored to win the Stanley Cup next year is beyond me. But
well, that's a team that we should be
they
watching
haven't really
tomorrow.
done anything yet, but you're right. They got
what are
some
they
money.
going to do tomorrow? Are they going to sign Nick Ehlers?
I don't know
That's
why
the last
everyone's
type
like,
of player they need, Jamie.
I think that Nick Ehlers is a really good player. Like,
He
people
is.
are like, I think he's a really good player. Like,
No.
Well,
you know what? I just can't get out of my head, and it's just going to be, really is stuck in my brain tomorrow. Whenever a player's signed, I can't get it out of my head, and it's the wrong way to approach it. But I'm going to say, how the hell is he going to help a team beat the Florida Panthers? Or I'll think, who is he on the Florida Panthers? That's all I can get my head out of how good they are and how good they've been. They've been to 3 straight finals, so that's all I can think about is
I know, but
who's that guy on the Panthers, or how is that guy going to help beat the Panthers?
sports just never works out that way.
Dude, I get
Like
it, but
it
it's
never
been 3
does.
years, and these idiots aren't going away.
I know that. They're their best team in the league. They're the pace car, and someone's got to go get them. There's no
Even
questioning
Maurice
that.
said, and I said he was BSing, but maybe he wasn't. He was like, "We were good the last couple of years, but this is by far even better." And that's just like, oh my god.
well, they proved it, and you're right. They are the gold standard of the league, and teams are coming for them. But what do? You don't build your team to beat Florida. You build your team to maximize to what you can do. And then
Who in the East is coming for them next year? Tell me.
Well,
New York Rangers
it's
are gonna be
Toronto,
tough.
Tampa. I don't know. Does Jersey keep growing? The Habs, Ottawa.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the teams. Like,
See you at the. I'll close this segment like this. See you at the Elbow Room at 10 a.m. in a year.
Here's
all
the
right,
thing.
we said the same thing about the Celtics this time last year.
Things change very
And
quickly.
the Chiefs were a lock to three-peat.
When Edmonton won that first game, we felt, you said Edmonton's winning in 5. Like, things change very quickly. No, that was you. I remember that, and I was like, no, they're not. But all I'm saying is things change pretty quickly. There's some damn good teams out there, but Florida has earned the right because
Best
they're
team in the league.
champ.
No
They're
question.
The best team in the league, and they're the pace car.
Yep, no question.
They are.
There's 2 flies that have been flying around the studio. Literally, you guys weren't watching. It was on my head, and I was trying to play it cool while I was finishing. I just went like this, and it started flying around.
It's
Anyway,
the food in there. That's why
yeah,
there's food
There's
hanging around.
It's just wild
Crumbs
in here.
everywhere.
All right, Carlo Koliakovo will join us on the legacy of Marner, what he makes of Nicholas Waugh, what else Brad Treliving could do or should do moving forward, all the other news around the